Hey there traders, welcome to another market update. Today is the 24th of March 2021 and we're going to start off with Bitcoin on the daily as usual. You can see that we've now closed our second consecutive day below the 21 exponential moving average on the daily chart. That still does make me medium term bearish, as well as the fact that we now can see a high, a low, a lower high, and now confirmed as a lower low. So even though I'm still medium term bearish here, we've deleted our sell orders because I want to see how this one reacts first from this 10 simple moving average on the daily today before we start taking any more positions. I want to see that this is not just a bear trap, but in fact a full-on reversal. And the way that we can see that is if we do take out the spike low of yesterday's daily candle around $52,981 spot 40 cents, or just call it 53K. If we close any kind of 4-hour candle below 53K, that would, initiate the move to the downside. Looks like we're about to make a little bit of a run here. If we do take out the spike high on a 4-hour candle closing basis, that's when I'll expect a further continuation move, maybe back up to sweep the highs around $59,500, somewhere around here. Let's look at the structure here. We do see that we broke below this previous level of structure. Do need to keep that in mind. Again, creating a lower low than our previous low. So technically speaking, the trend has reversed. And technically speaking, after testing the 10 simple, we should see that pullback happening. That's when we're going to take some positions. And then we should see a test around the 61.8% retracement level on the daily chart. And that also lines up with our previous liquid zone right here and the 55 exponential. So I like this area for confluence. Let's quickly look at the lower term time frames, the shorter term time frames. Again, I would not be bullish on Bitcoin short term, medium term, unless we do close 4-hour candles again above 57,860, somewhere around this previous little breakdown point. So even this short-term bounce, I don't believe will be the kind of bounce that we would like to buy just yet, unless we do start seeing some major changes happening. So remember 58,000, right? On the daily chart, 58,000. Kind of lines up with this little pivot right here. Would I agree with that as continuation? I would say that's pretty much going to determine whether or not Bitcoin continues to be upside or not. So it kind of looks more bearish here, but what I would like to see for Bitcoin now to do is to start breaking these structure lows here, because we are on the 200 simple and the 200 exponential moving average on the 4-hour chart. It's to be expected to see a short-term bounce, but do we see further continuation to the upside or downside? I mean, 4-hour stochastics just had a fresh cross to the upside here from my little blue liquid zone at the bottom, which usually catches the major lows in a bull market. You can see right here, whenever we do touch it, we do see major rejections from that area on the Stokes. And we can even go out throughout history and see how much of a bounce we can see from that particular zone. So for example, right over here, we see a bounce from that zone, and that led into this bounce right there. Then we saw it happening again right over here, and that put in this bounce right over here. Again, right over here, we saw it touch that blue zone, and we saw this bounce right over here. And then the previous one was touching the blue zone. Did we touch the blue zone previously? No, we did not. We just did right now. So I would expect another continuation move from this. This is also another reason why I have deleted my sell orders, because I don't think this one will be sold into that much. I think this is actually going to stand a chance to break structures here and start flipping bullish again, especially just based on that. That's how powerful that signal actually is. I mean, even these levels at the top do actually call the major pullbacks. For example, right over here, not a major pullback, but we did see that signal, and we did have a little bit of a pullback right there. And then right over here, which actually caught the high where we touched that blue zone again, and we can see this major pullback right over here. So I'm not going to take that too lightly. I do think perhaps the short-term bounce could lead into continuation, and then we can start trading this thing to the upside. But for now, I'm neutral, unless we do start seeing 4-hour candles closing above this previous swing high right over here, and preferably above the 21 exponential moving average on the 4-hour chart. That would make me short-term bullish again, looking for a move back up to around $58,000. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. I'm gonna keep the rest short and sweet because they're pretty much the same chart. Again, closing below the 21 exponential on the daily. I would still expect that move back down to around about 1572 for Ethereum. Do we have that in there? Yes, 1572. Let me just do this real quick. There we go. Okay. So this level currently, let me just get rid of this one. This one's also not supposed to be in there. Currently is going to be acting as resistance around the 21 exponential moving average. But do I want to short that level? No, not anymore. The reason why, again, on lower term time frames, we are looking to be bouncing above the 200 and the 200 simple and 200 exponential moving averages again. We do start closing above them again. I'd be bullish on this. We also do have bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart, confirming if and only if we do close 4-hour candles above 1708, which lines up with those moving averages. That would then be looking like a longer term bounce here rather than wanting to short this pullback. I think, again, if we go and look at the Stokes, we've got the same kind of level here. I just don't have it drawn in. But you can see around these parts, around 15% on the 4-hour stochastics, you usually see the turnaround point for the market, and as low as 10. So we did kind of reach for that critical zone. So could we see the same kind of short-term bounce for Ethereum here that I'm expecting from Bitcoin? Most definitely. But we'll see, does that get sold back into, or do we get continuation? On the 12-hour chart, bouncing off the 100 exponential here. So I would expect a move back up, and perhaps even a tradable move back up, hopefully. This looks like, no, it's not. Okay, anyway, let's move on to the next one. So that's Ethereum. Let's take a look at Bitcoin Cash real quick. On the daily, closing below the 55 exponential still. To me, that's still not a very healthy sign, still closing on new lows. Same as most of the other cryptos on the daily. So medium term, yes, I do think we're going to come back down. Short term, I do think we have a chance to bounce here and perhaps break this downtrend again and continue to the upside. So let's look at structure levels here. We did break below the structure level. If we can close above the 55 exponential moving average here today, this will be confirmed as another low. And once that's confirmed as a low, then I would not be bearish on it unless it starts taking out 506 again. So it does look like it's lining up for a decent bounce here, to be fair. 12-hour time frame here. We do have this little bit of a liquid zone coming in here, kind of holding the price up right now. But, still, I would not be looking to start, getting full on bullish on this thing medium term unless we do start closing daily candles above 552. Shorter term, though, let's have a look. Yeah, well, 532 would be my pivot short term. This is where I get bullish again if we can close a 4-hour candle above 532. That would make me short term bullish again right now. I would kind of just stay neutral on this one. It kind of does look like this could be accumulation here, so I do want to make that clear. It does look like accumulation to me, and it does look like we are forming and respecting some kind of trend line here. And that's usually a very powerful signal if we do see some kind of trend line on your stochastics. So this one does look like it wants to bounce, in my opinion. It does, bouncing off that exponential of mine right over here. Could this be seen as a double bottom? I wouldn't say so. It doesn't quite fit the criteria, in my opinion, but let's see how this one goes. I want to see it break above 532. Okay, so next one here is going to be Litecoin. Again, we canceled our sell limits for this one as well. Bouncing off the 55 exponential, this could be a continuation play rather than a short-term pullback. So again, we don't want to be shorting into this just yet. Yes, daily stocks do look a little bit bearish, but I think this short-term bounce could lead into a medium-term swing and continuation, perhaps back up to make new all-time highs. You can see right here we do have this a bit of a liquid zone right here for Litecoin, and currently this one is bouncing like you would expect it to do. If we go down to the 12-hour time frame, um, I do think we're going to be met with some resistance around this part, yes, but let's see what the 4 hour is showing. You see, if we close any kind of 4 hour candles above this previous high right here, above 196, 197, let's call it 197, I would definitely be looking for that extension that we had on this potential breakout pattern to still play out all the way back up to 217. So this one looks like it wants to bounce here as well. We've got a fresh cross to the upside on the 4 hour stokes, probably coming from a critical zone as well. Do we have any kind of... We have a little bit of hidden bullish divergence on the bigger time frames here, I suppose. Not quite getting all the way down to my moving average there, but that kind of is what we spoke about yesterday. I would expect a bounce at the very first try at least. So let's see, does this bounce get sold back into, then we'll start shorting again, or do we have a chance to reverse the trend and continue back up? Litecoin looking good overall. Okay, let's have a look at Chainlink. Chainlink did close below the 55 exponential here yesterday. But again, do I look at that as a terrible thing? Not necessarily, unless we start coming back down again. That's when I'll be looking for continuation as low as $24.65. I'm sure we do have a market structure in there. Yes, we do. So that's what I'd be looking for right over here. But can Chainlink bounce back up and continue? Yes, it can. It just did close on brand new all-time lows, or not all-time lows, a brand new swing low, a lower low than our previous low, lower high than our previous high. So this is a reversal. But is this reversal just a fake out? Because it's not accompanied by a lot of volume. That's another reason why I have deleted my sell orders. These could be legitimate bounces happening from these parts. So if we see Chainlink starting to jump back up and start creating some market structure, and we can start looking for long opportunities, I think it's definitely going to be a good idea to start taking some. On the 4 hour chart, bouncing off that exponential of mine. So I would actually expect another move back up at the very least to 28.05, somewhere around the 21 exponential moving average. Am I going to trade this? No, I would want to see a change of behavior, start breaking some structures back up to the upside. This one still has a lot of work to do before I start taking any positions again anytime soon. So that's just the way that I trade and choose to manage my risk, I suppose. Okay, so Uniswap. major volume coming through on this candle right there. We do have this liquidity zone. It's very obvious to see that this liquid zone is still controlled by the sellers. Are we seeing a bounce of the 21 exponential here? Yes, we are. Do I think that bounce is going to be sold back into? I do think so. I think this one is going to probably play out some more downside here, shorter term at least. But medium term, longer term, not really. So I wouldn't short, and I would rather be looking for long opportunities here, if I'm honest. So yeah, kind of neutral in this at this point. I do think short term it might pop back down to 28.5, but I think it should be scooped up around here. So perhaps we will take a position on that and see if we can trade this one up from the bounce. But yeah, I would pretty much be neutral. There we go. There's the test back down to the 55 exponential. I would be a little bit cautious on this one though. Let's see how this one reacts first around these parts, and then we can trade the next obvious extension. Okay, BNB, we had a short on BNB here. Let me just talk about the daily chart first. We wanted to short the 10 simple. We got our short filled. We did take some profits off the table, and we just got stopped out on break even. Kind of holding the structure around the 21 exponential, which is a really good sign. So I do think after testing the bottom side of the range, are we going to test the top side again? I do think so. For BNB right now, any kind of close above, well, $261 spot 27 cents would lead into another move back up, and I would be taking long positions from there. I would not be paying too much attention to these trend lines, though. I'm not a trend line trader, but I would expect a move back up to the very least to test these highs up here. Okay, so BNB looking like it wants to bounce, but let's be patient and see if it does break down from here. I would expect to move back down to around about $240 per BNB. So let's keep an eye on that one. Still looking overall okay. Monero, um, Monero did close on a new low here, below the 21 exponential. That needs to be kept in mind. Do I think this one's going to pop back down? I kind of do, but again, there's not a lot of volume on the selling side there, so I'm not going to be too stressed about it. This one's kind of more of an obvious trade as well, I suppose. Any kind of close above 227, spot 76, I'd be looking for continuation to the upside for this one. Any kind of break below this liquidity zone around 213, I'd be looking for a breakdown in price back down to these parts down here. Okay. And the last one, Neo. Neo, this is an interesting one. Again, closing below the 21, closing for 2 days below the 21. Technically speaking, we did close yesterday, did we? Yes, we did close below the 21. And this is another reason why we got stopped out on break even. The price just did not see that meltdown I expected after closing below the 21 that we usually see, back down to the 55. So trend still wanting to hold here, trend still looking strong. So any kind of takeout of previous days spike high around $42.40, I'd be looking for this one to pop back up around $46 probably over the next couple of days. Looking pretty good here for upside potential. So we didn't get the meltdown that we wanted, but we could see the break to the upside, and I played this one back up. Like I said, any kind of close above $42.20 today on a 4-hour closing basis, I'd be looking for this one to continue back up to around $44, $45 per coin. All right. Thanks, ladies and gents. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.